Hey, good morning, everybody. It is Marketing Mondays with Ira Bowman. I hope you have had a wonderful weekend. I hope that you had a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. And my question for you today, well, there's a couple that I'm going to ask. But first, are you working or are you off today? I know this is one of those kind of strange times in the year where some people take off. Some people are working. I am working today. One of my friends, good friends of mine, actually, Professor Pete Alexander, said he's kind of doing half and half. My friend Joe Stepke, he's my LinkedIn bestie. We have a show together on Saturdays called Saturday's Cup of Joe. He's off this whole week. So, there's lots of people that are working. There's a lot of people that aren't working. Tell me in the comments, are you working or not? Hello, everyone. I'm William Smith from North California. Welcome, William Smith. Where in North California are you from? I actually grew up in Northern California too. I actually split time as a child between Las Vegas, Nevada, and Northern California. Mostly as a kid, I was in the Napa area, and then as an adult, I was in the South Bay area, but I grew up kind of all over. So anyways, tell me where you're from. Let's see. Kimberly Collins, hello, good morning. Don't forget to tell me where you're from. Also, if you are a job seeker, don't forget to tell us that. If you're a job seeker, tell us where you're from, tell us what you do and what you're looking for, and I'll try and help you get some exposure. I'm working from home. That is where I work from now too. For the longest time, I was an outside door-to-door business sales rep, right? So I would drive out every day, but now I work from home. I have a little podcast studio, if you will, that I've created here in my office, and then I do all my work. I've got 3 screens here, my camera equipment, my green screen. This is actually not the green screen. I have a giant backdrop display holder. I bought a banner with the step and repeat over the backdrops, because sometimes the green screen doesn't work very well and you get that pixelated, and I don't like that. So sometimes I do use my green screen, mostly when I'm making my videos, right, for YouTube or whatever, when I'm recording videos. But if I'm just on a show, I typically will just have my backdrop up now. But anyways, it's fun. I think a lot of people work from home now, so there's nothing wrong with that. Always working, yeah, that's me too. Even on the weekends, I don't really take off. Welcome, Hardik, from, I don't know how to say that, India. Are you working today or are you off? Here's my buddy, Joe Steph. We were just talking about, I am in the Indianapolis area. He is Indiana Joe. We got a tour of his bat cave on Saturday. I'm also part of Joe the Finance Guy. Yeah, he is Joe the Finance Guy. And all the views expressed on this show and on our other show are solely those of Ira and Joe, not a seam of credit. Just had to get that out of the way. All right. Hello from Toronto, Canada. Hello, Shazad. Are you working today or are you enjoying your time off like my buddy Joe Stepke is? Hello, I'm a job seeker in fiber optics. This is perfect. And other like in telecommunication industry, and I'm from Rwanda. Welcome, Eric. Okay. So are you looking to stay in Rwanda? Are you looking, to work a certain, I know in Africa, it's cut up into quadrants and you can work in any of the quadrants, or you can work in only the one that you're from, right? Without special paperwork, or are you looking to relocate? Anyways, those questions are good. And also, if you're not familiar with it, I'll put it up in the, I'll put it in the ticker. How about that? I run, just in case you guys aren't familiar with, I run a free website. It's called Project Help You Grow. It's 100% free. There's no ads. There's no commercials. There's no money needed. You can't even spend a dime on my website if you try, because there's nothing for sale. It's all free help. You don't even have to register for an account. Now, if you register for an account, the advantage of registering is this. You get extra exposure because you can create a profile and you can load your resume. It'll boost your SEO, but you don't have to do that. The only people who have to register for an account on my website are the employers or the recruiters who want to put the jobs up, because there's some legalese, there's some stuff that they have to, waivers they have to certify that I have the right to do it, basically. But other than that, you don't need an account. But there is advantages and disadvantages to both. And you can actually delete your account anytime too. That's the other thing. I do get those emails from people like, hey, how do I delete my account? That usually means you found a job, which is a good thing. And I'll show you how to do it. Not too hard. Okay, let's see. What else do we got going on here? Isaiah is from South Africa. Welcome, Isaiah. Are you working today or are you off? William Smith is a Bitcoin mining expert. For more information on Bitcoin, send William Smith Bitcoin. Where are you from, William? You still Northern California, but are you, in the Bay Area, or are you up in, like Eureka, or where are you from? There you go. See, Shazad. Send Ebenezer your contact information. That's what this is about. We're networking here. And if you have marketing questions today, it looks like my guest isn't going to be joining me. I had Krista Mullen is my friend from the Sassy Method scheduled to be here today, but it doesn't look like she's going to show up. So it might just be me, but that's okay. I do have some things to talk about. Ebenezer is from Ghana. Very good. That's West Africa. For those of you who are unfamiliar, was on Project Help Me Grow this morning. Ira, looking for sales role in Northeastern Ohio. Thank you for this site. Hey, it's my pleasure. And if anybody watching is looking for a sales rep in Northeast Ohio, I know Greg personally. I think Greg is awesome. I'll give you a recommendation. So if you want to call me and talk to me about Greg, I can tell you a little bit about him, and I will give you a recommendation or a referral for him. So if that helps, okay, check him out. He's a good traditional sales rep with the foundation, a solid foundation of sales skills. I know that from conversations that I've had with him in my speed networking events. Speed networking is about to kick off. In fact, it will start next week. I'm going to do it on Tuesdays, just like I've always done it. So speed networking with Ira on Tuesdays. First one next week. Look for the Ira guide. I probably will post that today. I actually intended to post it over the weekend, and then I did some other things. So I didn't get the Ira guide updated, but I'm going to be announcing a show with my wife. That's going to be a really fun show. If you guys are not familiar with my wife is a director in Sensi. Sensi is an MLM, which is multi-level marketing company. They sell products. There are a lot of people out there who work in the MLM field. And if you are unemployed right now, MLM companies like Avon and Tupperware and Sensi, they are legitimate opportunities for you to make money. You don't have to create your own marketing stuff. You don't have to invent your own products. You just basically plug in. There's two parts to an MLM team. There's the selling part and there's the recruiting part. Usually people are good at one or the other. And so the struggle is, trying to balance it out. My wife will be talking about that quite a bit on the show, because I think it's fascinating. And I think it's an opportunity for a lot of you job seekers to at least jump in. Like, for example, I know with Sensi, a lot of times, I think it's $99 is what they normally charge to get started. But they have specials all the time where you can jump in for $49 and you can even jump in for free sometimes. So every MLM system is a little bit different, but they all have a component of sales and a component of recruiting. And so my wife and I will have this show. I think it's going to be called #8isEnough. That's kind of a joke, but if you know us, we have 8 kids. In fact, one of the things I wanted to show you guys today, and again, since my guest didn't show up, I've got some free time here to do pretty much whatever I want. So I'm going to pull this up. I have got, hang on with me just a second. You know how I do it. Everything always opens on the other screen. I don't know why. Okay, here we go. I'm going to share my screen. And there we go. Okay. So this is what I was doing partly over the weekend. I took portraits of my family and I shot them, right? So this is my wife. So the hashtag 8 is enough. Now in the picture here, if you count them, there's 7 kids in the picture. We actually have one more. He's older. He's in college. He didn't come home for the holiday because let's face it, he's a boy and they don't like to come home. So, anyways, he is in Texas, but this is the rest of us. So, my wife and I have 8 kids. So, she has a hashtag 8 is enough in response to a hashtag that I have, which is strive for 9. So, my wife and I go back and forth on that. But, anyways, I like the hashtag 8 is enough. There was a show obviously called 8 is enough, which is why she retorted with that. But, they didn't call the hashtag or the show hashtag 8 is enough. So we're going to have just a little bit of a spin on a classic show title. But anyways, that's my wife and that's my family there. Now, one of the things I did want to show you guys for marketing purposes, one of the things people don't think about when you are getting your photos taken, to take it to the next level, what you can do is you can do background removal. Background removal helps in a variety of ways. I wrote a blog on Bowman Digital Media about how to set up your profile photos. One of the nice things about the background removal is it's kind of like now you have a foundational piece. I can put the wireframes around it without any issue when I save it as a PNG. I also can change the color of the background. I can go white like I did here, or I can actually change colors. I could add like a black. The other thing that I like to do is I like to do just like look behind me and I've got this banner. It's got my logo step and repeat pattern, right? You can do the same thing with your company logos behind you once you have the background removed. But to do any of that, you really do need to remove the background. Then you can do whatever you want. So for example, on this one, I could do, oh, that's not what I want to show you. Hang on. So I could do this one as a profile photo if I want, especially during the Christmas season, because I've got, the holiday stuff behind me. But then, when I'm done and I want to, wrong one. Sorry. I'm all kinds of lost here. That's okay. I can find it real quick. So when you want to, right? Like here's an example. This is what I'm trying to show you, right? So once you take the background out, I'm not standing in front of this, right? But once I take the background out, I can build it. See, there's with just the black or just the white, and there's the wireframes. You can do all of this stuff, but you got to take. Well, you don't have to take the background out to do the wireframes, but if you do, you can do all of it, and that's what I'm trying to show you, I guess. So, anyways, if that doesn't make sense to you, ask me questions here in the comments. Oh, thank you very much. Yes, I do take my own portraits now from San Francisco. Cool. I actually used to work San Francisco, Oakland, all the way over to Tracy. So basically the 580 from the bridge all the way over. So I was in that traffic all the time. That's actually why I relocated down here to Southern California, because I found a job where I was going to be working in the heart of my territory, and I got to keep that job for 6 months until I got furloughed. I didn't know COVID was coming. I would have just stayed put. But anyways, it is what it is. We make our choices and we place our bets, and and then COVID happens. But I started my own business, so I'm doing okay. So, oh, we saw that. Okay. So any questions about background removal and how it can help? If you want to read the article, I'll go ahead and pull it up again. I was prepared for my guest today, so we're just kind of winging this a little bit. But Bowman Digital Media is the website. Obviously, that's on the poster stuff behind me. But if you're not familiar with the website, you want to check it out. There you go. It's Bowman Digital Media. Okay. And what you want to do is, this is the homepage, but you come to the blog. And then it's right. Nope. Taking control of what you see on social media is a good one too. Look, if you're getting lost in your DMs, in your feed, and you're not seeing what you want to see, take a look at taking control of what you see on social media. It'll teach you some alternative methods to navigating social media and getting more from it. Now, this is the blog that I'm talking about, LinkedIn photo guidelines, how to make a great first impression. So you can read this if you'd like. I do have a video where I go through it. I talk about something that I haven't seen yet today. Let me scroll through and see. It looks like everybody on here is, I can see your picture and I can see your name, which means that you're doing it the right way. Sometimes, which you'll see, well, let me get the video going here. Sometimes what you'll see is this right here. See how it shows up with the gray, the gray icon? What happens is there is a setting in your profile. If you come right here, like you're gonna change your image. There's this little eyeball. It's called visibility, but it's an icon. You click on that and then you change it to public, and then you can see, everybody can see your photo at that point, which is what you want, right? There's no reason for anybody to ever have a gray icon unless you don't have a picture loaded, which 99.9999% of people do load a picture. So if you load the picture, let everybody see it. The default, though, is that only your direct connections can see it. So you have to adjust it. You have to basically open it up. So this article, this video is located on bowmandigitalmedia.com's page. So come check it out. If you're curious about Bowman Digital Media, this is not a commercial for my company, but we do all kinds of different things: social media management, press releases, photography, website designs, sales coaching, custom videos, SEO work, Google ads, and more. If you want to know how much things cost, you can actually see I don't hide anything. I have all my packages and all my prices are right here with descriptions. So for example, if you need photography work, it's here. You can see what I charge. A photography session is $250. That includes my travel within 50 miles. I'm here in Southern California. So pretty much any place in Southern California I'll go, there's no extra travel, right? And then you get 1 hour of photo time and you get 1 hour of digital editing, and you don't have to buy the pictures. I will give you the digital edited pictures once I'm done editing them. Now, if you want me to do more work, then we could talk about that. But I can do most headshot sessions and things like that in the hour without any problem. Video shoot on location, it starts at $250. You can read it. But for example, if you want the background removal, that's what I was talking about. Let's see. Design time per hour, $100. There you go. I can take backgrounds out. I can add wirings. I could do step and repeat backdrop settings for you. I can put you in front of the White House, or if you want to be on the Great Wall of China. When I was first getting started with my digital design services, I put my wife and I on the Great Wall of China, and I put it up as a post, and everybody believed we were there. And I was like, I mean, you can see where we're posting from, right? We're not, we've been posting all day. Anyways, don't always believe everything you see on on social media, guys, because there's people like me who edit graphics all the time. So I can also do photo touch-ups. For example, the other day, it's kind of embarrassing, but I had a bagel. I had one of those, multi-grain bagels with all the seeds and stuff on it. I had that for breakfast, and then I went on my hike. You guys know what I'm talking about? I'll pull up the pictures. I went on a hike, and I'm actually proud of myself because it was hard. It was really hard to get up there. We live on the base of these hills in the Inland Empire, and I went on a hike. We've lived here for a year, and I went on a hike, and so I got up there. I went up to the top. So I'm going to show you. This is kind of embarrassing, but I'm going to show you because, it's just me. It's no big deal. Here we go. So I took this picture, and I don't know if you can see it, but if you look really closely, there's a seed right there. I took all these pictures with my camera, and now you can kind of see it better right there. See it? It's a seed right there. It's awesome. It's in every one of the photos because I didn't know the seed was there. But if you look closely here, you'll notice that the seed is gone. You know what happened? I photoshopped it out. I picked the pictures that I like best. So if you see the seed there, I didn't like the picture. And if you don't see the seed, That means I liked it. Like this one right here. See, I edited it out. So stuff like that, sometimes people ask me to whiten their teeth or remove wrinkles or, I mean, it depends on the person. But that's the kind of stuff that you can do with the photo editing. I mean, that stuff is what most people call photoshopping. You know what I mean? It's just it's for vanity. I had a kind of gross, but I had a little pimple above my eyebrow the other day, and I was doing some pictures, so I did take that out. You know what I mean? So I don't typically do a lot of that stuff for myself because I'm not trying to, First of all, I've been married for 20 years. I've got 8 kids. I love my wife. I'm not looking for a date or whatever. I'm not here for love. I've already got that. So, I don't, and I don't think I'm a handsome person. Some people, like to tease me and say that I am, but I'm really not. I know good looking people and I'm not one of them. You know what I mean? So I don't, I'm not worried about that at all. So, anyways, Photoshop though can do a lot. I actually did it to go back to one of the pictures I had showed you. I'll show you another example. This can be helpful. When you take photographs, one of the challenges is glare on glasses. So one of the things that I had to deal with today when I was doing the background removal for my current photo. Hang on a second. I gotta find it. Ira portrait, I think I called it. This is riveting TV, I know. Sorry, guys. Okay. So one of the things I did, I'll share it with you here. So there was glare in the glasses, and I wanted to take it out. So what I had to do, I'm just going to show you. I'll show you the difference. Okay, so if we zoom in here so that we can see. That's scary, right? But I wanted to take all this stuff out, right? As much of it as I could anyways. So what did I do? See, it's there a little bit, but it's digitally erased. You know what I mean? So that when you zoom out, you can't see that hardly at all, right? So that kind of cleanup and stuff, I do that for my clients. A lot of times I don't even tell them. You just you just do it. That's kind of the difference between, taking the picture yourself and just it is what it is versus, paying somebody to help digitally clean it up. And anyways, that's part of what I mean with the digital editing. So if I do headshots for somebody, for example, that's the kind of stuff that I'm going to do in that hour of editing. That's why I set a time, because otherwise I'll sit there and work on it forever, and I won't make any money doing that. You're such an amazing individual. You see good in everyone. Exude much. Wow. Thank you very much, Julia. That's a very big compliment. I appreciate that. I do try to be nice to everybody. I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect, but I do try. I believe everybody has some good in them. I do. I don't think we're necessarily inherently good. Because the Bible says the heart is wicked, desperately wicked, and who could know it, right? So I think we all have bad stuff. Is like for example, when I'm raising my kids, I don't have to teach them things like being selfish and lying to me. They just do that on their own. You have to teach them to do what's right. So that's my thought on that. But I think most people care about others. I think most people do want, not to be a jerk, to contribute to society, to do things, to leave a positive legacy. I think that's in most people, in their character. And so I look for the good things. I mean, if we're always dwelling on the negative in life will be miserable, right? So I try to, I'm a half glass is half full guy for sure. What's the good out of a situation and how can we make things better? And I'm constantly pushing myself to improve. Like I don't think I've arrived at all. Sometimes people treat me like I'm a celebrity or whatever, and I go, no, man, I'm a print nerd. I am a print nerd on social media, right? And I've adjusted, and now I do most of my stuff is digital, which is great. It's convenient because COVID. It's hard to do a lot of this stuff in person, anyways. But I have the equipment, and I'm ready to go on site whenever needed. To record and to edit and to do those things. So, my business will actually be better when we open this thing back up. I hope that the vaccine, I know the vaccine's like a politically charged thing. I don't understand that exactly, but it seems to be. But I hope that the cure for COVID, I hope that the preventative stuff that they're doing for COVID helps us to gain our freedoms back. Obviously I don't want anybody to die. And I don't care how people vote, vote however you want to vote. For me, the vaccines, there's two of them now, right? So, if one's better than the other, then I hope everybody uses that one. I don't know. But anyways, I do know that life will be better when we can all get back outside and hang out with each other. There was a funny thing I watched on Facebook this morning, or maybe it was last night. Now I'm thinking about it. But anyways, the premise is pretty funny. So it's illegal to eat inside right now. You got to eat outside. But a lot of these restaurants have basically built in, their outside tents. So you're still eating inside. You're just eating in a makeshift inside as opposed to the permanent inside. If you can follow everything I said, it was pretty funny. Maybe you had to be there, but anyhow. Okay, do y'all have any marketing related questions? What is marketing? Digital marketing. Struggle with, what colors to use, or, how to identify your target audience. Krista Mullen was going to talk about, because I was going to ask her, she has developed her SASSY method, right? And her SASSY method, I'm a fan of Krista Mullen. That's why I asked her on the show. So I'm sorry that she wasn't here today, but marketing is not advertising. So maybe we just do a little bit of marketing 101. What is marketing? What marketing is, in essence, is analyzing data and predicting future based on past, right? So we take what we know, we quantify, we take the quantifications of what we know, right? And we make predictions on future events. We basically say, based on this, we should see that, and we will direct our budgets and our actions based on those. Yeah, Sylvia White is asking it, what is marketing? So let's do this. I'm going to pull up Wikipedia. Let's do this a little bit. Of course, I just typed in Google, what is marketing, and Wikipedia didn't show up. There we go. Okay, I'm sharing my screen again. Here we go. So what is marketing? Marketing refers to activities a company undertakes to promote the buying or selling of a product or service. Yes. I would actually change that a little bit, but that's okay. The New York Times described it as the art of telling stories. So see, this is not true. That people lose track of their wallets. That's advertising, guys. This is so funny. This is Wikipedia. Okay. What is marketing? Marketing has a component of selling. Absolutely. Your sales team and your marketing team work hand in hand. Your advertising team relies on your marketing team to give them the analytics of the customers, the prospects, the industry, all these things. There's data that gets analyzed, right? Marketing is identifying the behaviors, both the current and the past, to predict what's going to happen in the future and to advise what happens moving forward. Now, marketing materials, right, are then used for sales purposes. So I understand the gray area where people don't always understand. And some companies like Bowman Digital Media, we offer sales activities and marketing activities, right? And so then you have some confusion there as well. But let's keep going. Let's see what they're saying. I don't want to totally steal their thunder, but just understand that I'll call a spade a spade. All right, let's see what they say. It is one of the primary components of business management and e-commerce and commerce. Absolutely. Marketers can direct a product to other businesses, business to business marketing, or directly to consumers, business to consumer marketing. That's good information right there. Okay. So hang on a second. This thing is asking me to pay. So let's go back to this site for a second. Business to business or business to consumer. I'm assuming you guys understand what that means, but just in case you don't, like I've been in business to business sales for 20 years. What does that mean? I'm not calling on people at their house to see if they want a new printer or ink or supplies for their printer inside their home, right? I'm calling on businesses. That's what I did for 20 years. I called on businesses to see if they needed new print equipment, to see if they needed supplies for the printer, to see if they needed the prints done for them. You know what I mean? Like the giant wall art, or if they wanted to wrap their vehicles, we weren't going to have them print it and wrap it themselves. We offered printing services, to provide that new wallpaper or whatever, right? So there was the equipment, there was the supplies, and then there was the printing services, new brochures or whatever that they were going to have printed. And I was calling on businesses. So if you weren't a business, I wasn't going to call on you. Now, there are business to consumer sales. For example, if somebody's selling, it could be all kinds of things. It even could be industrial things that you would find in business. Like you could have a home-to-home guy who's a business to consumer guy who's selling alarm systems or vehicles or eyewear or clothing or cleaning supplies. Maybe it's, services like landscaping or, maid services. Could be any of that stuff. Now, some of those like industrial supplies, landscaping, cleaning services, those could also be business to business, right? So you could have a company that does both, or you could have a company that focuses on one or the other. Most businesses do market, they do solicit one or the other. They choose, right? So that's a very important distinction. How do you get that data as a new company? That is a great question, Sylvia. There are lots of ways to get the data. Usually the easiest way is to hire somebody like me, right? You go to bowmandigitalmedia.com, you say, Ira, I need marketing data. What do you need marketing data for? We'll talk about it. But then you don't have to do the research. Like, this is the thing about running a business. When you're running a business, you are not going to be able to do it all yourself, right? You're not going to be able to do whatever your business does to make a living. Keep accounting, all the accounting stuff. You're probably not going to be able to design all your own files, create all your own videos, all your marketing materials, your advertising, your sales. You're going to have to probably source quite a bit, and you probably should. That would be my recommendation. Focus on the thing that makes you the money, and then source or pay somebody else to do the rest. And not just one person, obviously. Find people who are good at the different categories. For example, I don't run my books. I pay a guy. I have got a company that does my books for me, right? So obviously, because I am who I am, I do all my own social media. I do all my own selling because that's what I'm good at. But I do have a team in place to help me writing when I need writing. I have somebody who helps me promote social media things, back channels, right? Views, followers, that kind of stuff. So when I have a client who says, Ira, I need to get more views on this, or I need more followers on my channel, I have sources for that, right? So you can't be an expert at everything. If you're a jack of all trades, you're a master of none. So, but if you want to get the data yourself, the short answer is a lot of it is surveys. We do surveys. And then there are, like for social media channels, for website stuff, there are services that we use. Tools, like for example, I use SEM Rush is one of the tools that I use to check my domain authority, to check my keywords, to check my page rank, those types of things. So there's different sources, but anyways, hopefully that helps answer your question. Mom and Pop's Computer Shop. Hello. If your computer is sick, I'm presuming that you want to view Mom and Pop's Computer Shop. Where are you guys from? I love the name of your business. That is super cool. Okay. So let's go back to Wikipedia. Let's keep reading because that was good information about business to consumers or business to business. So B2B marketing or B2C marketing. Regardless of being who is being marketed to, several factors apply, including the perspective the marketers will use, known as market orientations. They determine how marketers will approach planning stage marketing. See, this is all true. No doubt about it. We want to learn as much as we can about the people that you as a company would be soliciting to, because, and we call that the avatar, by the way, right? So your avatar or your specific target really does affect, or it should affect, how you communicate, what you communicate. For example, one of the companies that I work with, they're called Voice Express. Voice Express does artificial intelligence. They integrate it with print. So you could have packaging, you could have a point of purchase display, you could have like a picture frame with an interactive voice on it. There's all kinds, they make all different products. They put the voice inside Build-A-Bear, if you're familiar with that, right? The Build-A-Bear would speak, and that's the company that created the technology. It's called Voice Express. Now, Voice Express, they pretty much focus on retail. Well, they don't focus on it, but that's one of the main categories. You know, when people have retail sales and they want to communicate with the clients or the prospects really before they purchase, you want to communicate with people at the point of the purchase. So in the moment of truth and you're on the shelf and you're trying to decide between product A and product B, if product A is talking to you intelligently and product B doesn't say anything, the odds are you're going to be more inclined to go with the product that's communicating with you audibly. It's another vehicle of communication. That's what Voice Express offers. And then also the follow-ups, right? After you purchased, if you receive a letter in the mail and you open it up and there's a chip that doesn't have to be connected to any Wi-Fi or whatever, and it just starts asking you questions or, making statements like, hey, thank you very much for buying that red, Toyota Corolla or whatever you purchased. You know what I mean? That's probably outdated, but anyways, you get the idea, right? So they can communicate with you pre-sale, during the sale, and after the sale, audibly, not just visually. Well, there's a lot of advantages to that. That's marketing. When do you use that? When do you not use that? Well, what part of the world are you selling to? Are you talking to boys or girls? What age bracket? What, education level? What income level? What's the product all about? These are all factors that can decide what you're going to do. And so that's what we're talking about here. The marketing mix, which outlines the specifics of product and how it will be sold, is affected by the environment surrounding the product. 100% true. There are a lot of factors that need to be evaluated. Okay. The results of marketing research and market research and other characteristics of the product's target market. Again, we're going to call that target market the avatar. Okay. Once these factors are determined, marketers must then decide what methods will be used to promote the product. That's what we were just talking about with Voice Express, including use of coupons and price inducements, visual aids. What stores are you going to sell to? Are you going to go e-commerce? Are you going to go traditional sales? What type of sales methods are you going to go with? Are you going to have a door-to-door team? Are you going to have an outside sales rep? Are you just going to have a website? What are you going to do with social media? If you are going to do social media, what channels are you on? These are all things that marketing helps to determine. So what is marketing? Marketing is analytics in a nutshell, right? It is analytics. We're going to take everything that we can think of from who you are and what you do, the industry that you're in, what your competitors are doing, what the market as a whole is doing, who you're selling to, and we're going to try to educated guess what's going to happen moving forward and what's the best way to affect positive change for you to move the needle to make it better. That's what marketing is, right? The selling of the product is not marketing. What we do in sales is we take the data given to us by marketing. And then we do our best to basically go out with the game plan that helps us sell. But we're using it's kind of like the head start, their momentum. They've given us a head start, an advantage. Look into the future, go, look, this is, you need to do, you need to use videos. You need to use audio. You need to send out emails, or you need to send out handwritten letters, or you need to do more networking events. And you need to utilize these phrases, because these are the phrases that are going to catch the attention of the people that you're talking to. That's marketing. That's marketing research, right? The sales team will take the marketing and they'll run with it. And then what happens as the sales people do their job, the marketing team can analyze the real-time results and go, okay, well, we're going to make these adjustments based on what's really happening. And now we suggest a little bit, augmented plan, if you will. Okay. So hopefully that helps you with what marketing is. If you guys have been confused about that, my bad. I probably should have explained that sooner, but marketing it's not a crystal ball, but it's kind of like a crystal ball, right? It's not a crystal ball. In fact, it's not witchcraft. It's a lot of math, but it's also understanding human behavior. So there's some psychology that comes into it. There are marketing professionals who focus on the mentalities or the profiles, if you will, of the people that you would market to or you would sell to. And this is becoming big in the hiring process. It's becoming big in the sales process. It's becoming big. Corporate psychology is becoming a big part of the whole professional sphere, but marketing certainly has let's say psychology has its niche in marketing, and it always has, because we want to identify tendencies, traits, and to understand what somebody's going to do. If you can understand the way they think, then and this is both conscious and unconscious, by the way, right? Because sometimes people do things that don't make sense. You think logically, but they just get in the moment, and like we call it in the ether. They do what we call compulsory buying, for example. They don't need it. They can't justify it. They just want it. Well, how do you, if you're in sales, if you're selling a product, how do you get people to that point? Because if you can get people to that point, you know what I mean? Then you'll sell more. If you can get them to walk in front of your product and go, I don't give a crap, I want this thing, I'm going to buy it. How do you do that? Well, there are things that you can do to, in a lot of cases, there's things that you can do to generate that, elicit that response, which is what you're trying to do. And that's advertising, that's sales, and that's marketing, all coming together at that point. But somebody has to figure out what the things are that set that mood. That part of it is the marketing, right? The advertising, then they create the package, they create the colors or the textures or all that stuff, the visual, all of it, all the environment. That is advertising, right? From the commercials that you hear, from the coupons that you receive, all that stuff, that's the advertising campaign. And then the sales campaign is, the pricing that is set, the staff that's going to communicate with you. Maybe they're going to reach out to you, or if it's on the shelf, the selling is pretty much just in what store or what websites and, and those types of things. So hopefully that helps break it out for you. Obviously there's overlap, and they do work hand in glove. Marketing, sales, and advertising all work hand in glove. And everybody wants to take credit when the product's hot, right? Well, it's because my sales team was awesome. No, it's because my marketing campaign was on point. No, it's because the advertising that we did for that particular series was off the charts, right? So everybody wants credit when it goes good, but nobody wants the responsibility when it's bad. Of course, it's always the sales guy's fault, I think. That's not coming from a bitter sales guy now. Come on. Any other questions before I get out of here? I'm going to cut this thing short, I think, because it is 45 minutes in. I normally do go an hour, but I have a guest usually, right? and I showed you the background removal. I could show you some of the pictures that I did if you're curious. So maybe we'll do that. We'll go to the Bowman family portraits, and I'll just swing through these. So let me do that. I think I showed you guys this one already. This is the family shot, and then I did one each of my family. So there is my wife, which now you can know I'm a good salesperson, because if you are in sales and you have a beautiful spouse, one that's obviously out of your league, then that usually means you're good at closing the deal. So there's my proof that I can sell something anyways. And then the family again, and then we'll go through it. This is my little Debbie. And for marketing purposes, obviously, I'm using a fun font. It's a cursive font. I use it because it's a little bit whimsical. The colors, I pulled out the red because the red stands out and it's fun and it's the color of love and passion and all those things. So I did move the writing around for each of the pictures. I also put in the watermark for Bowman Digital Media in case anybody wanted to, take my pictures and use them. I want, them to give me credit. That's why I do that. This is Ira Jr. This is the only one that I did different lighting for. I had the same lighting as all the other ones, but I just really liked this shot. And so we rolled with it. My wife and I both really liked this shot. So did he. This is me. It is what it is. This is my daughter, Lillian. And again, if you notice, like I've got the logo moving and I've got the names moving around based on where I thought it fit best in the shot. This is Lillian and Elizabeth are twins. They have different hairstyles now, so it's hard to tell, but they're actually identical twins. And this is my oldest daughter, Marlena. She actually is on social media, so you can find her on LinkedIn if you like. She's in college. And this is my teenage son, RJ, his first name is Randolph, but we call him RJ. Anyways, he's a junior in high school this year. He's 6 foot tall. He's taller than me. So, Dad, you look up to me. I know every day. I do. Every day he's taller than me. This is Vivian. And, again, just moving stuff around a little bit. Once you have the pictures, that's the last one. Once you have the pictures, then creating like a theme, adding the frames, adding the font, adding any overlays, that kind of stuff becomes easy to do, but also makes it all tied together. There's no question if you go through any of these photos, what series it belongs to. And when you're doing marketing campaigns and you're building out your branding, for example, that's important. So the use of certain fonts, the use of your logo, any colors, we write something called a branding guide or a brand standard. And if your company is looking for one of those because you want to create a universal look, so when you see photographs, whether they're together or they're separate, you instantaneously can recognize, oh, that's a Bowman Digital Media picture, or that's an Exit Your Way picture, or that's a Joe the Finance Guy picture, or Preferred Petroleum Services, or any of my other clients, right? The Voice Express we talked about, Sparkfish, West Bay, any of my clients. When I put up photographs, like for example, I did one for Joe the Finance Guy earlier today. I'll show you. I'm going to pull it up. So whenever you're pulling up whenever you're creating an image, this is some marketing advice for you. Okay. Whenever you're creating one of these images, I want you to think about some of the consistencies. Like obviously your logo is pretty much going to stay the same, right? But how do you incorporate it in photos so that no matter what you do, it looks similar? I'm just going to run through some of the photos that I've done recently for Joe the Finance Guy. Okay. I've got his logo in here. Now I use a white version and a dark version. I have white and black, right? So depending on the photo, I'll mix them up, right? So there's a theme that runs through these photos, and you just start to see, like, I can recognize This one a little bit outside the mold. I did this one because it was funny, right, from The Office. Okay, this is Joe the finance guy. It's funny. Speaking of marketing stuff, here's a marketing analysis from SCM Rush for Joe the finance guy. That's a little bit old, but anyways. So here I used the dark logo, right? Why not the white? Well, it didn't pop off the page as much, but here I used the white one because it's dark background. So you start to see some of these things, and recognize like, oh, that's a Joe the finance guy image. Now, the one I'm looking for from today, well, here's one I did for him a couple days ago. This was for Christmas stuff, right? But you start to notice they all blend together by design. The one that I did earlier today is right here. Okay. And I asked the question on this photograph, are you guys working today or not? Right. But you have branding standards. So he has colors that I use for his borders, for his logo. I actually have fonts that I use just for when I'm creating his graphics. When I'm doing if I'm doing another photograph for another client, it's a whole different set of rules. The fonts, the colors, the size of the logos, sometimes the size of the white space or the blank space in a photograph. Does it bleed off the page or does it have to be inside the page? Are there margins? Any of those things. Those are rules. If your company is relatively new and you don't have a branding guide set, I strongly would recommend that you would write one or have one written for you. But whoever's doing your artwork, give them these rules so that they can, whenever they're creating things, they can create things that start to conform to or look the same in the sense where it's familiar, right? So when someone's looking at your suite of pictures, whether that be, on the internet or something that's printed, your vehicle wraps, a banner, something that's in your, if you have like a conference room, all that stuff. So it all looks the same. Packaging, all of it. You want it all to match so that becomes part of your brand. Now, that doesn't mean you can't ever change it. Of course you can. You can evolve. You can change out fonts. You can change out colors. I've had a couple people come to me over the past several months to update their logos. And that's great, right? So when you update your logo, maybe it's time to update your brand standard. But that way, when you're seeing things, again, it's for continuity. It's for easy identification for your clients. So they'll see it and go, oop, that's Bowman Digital Media, right? I use black and gray and white all the time because those are my colors. I have a specific font. It's easy to read. It's clean. That's my main font. I have a couple alternate fonts, and that's what we call them for different use. How do we get that data? Oh, you already asked me that question. Okay. I am new here, Hope, and welcome here. Everybody's welcome here. This is for everybody. So around the world. So welcome. But I am going to head out. I don't see any new questions, which is good. Hopefully I didn't bore you to death. I will be back next week. My guest next week is, let me see here before we go. Again, Chris DeMola was supposed to be my guest today. I don't know what happened. It's probably just because it was so close to the holiday. She's probably just, not feeling well or something. But in any case, my guest next week is Michelle Gunn. Michelle Gunn is a good friend of mine. She actually has a pretty large network on LinkedIn. I think she has over 60,000 followers. So she's done what I call made two laps. The LinkedIn has a cap, if you will. Well, they all do. Every platform has a cap. How many connections you can have. But they have unlimited followers. So 30,000 is the limit for first degree connections on LinkedIn. In fact, if you're sending me connection requests and you don't realize that, that's the answer to why I don't accept it. I can't. I don't have the room because I'm maxed out. But anybody can follow you, and you can follow anybody. There's no limit. So at 60,000, you've doubled the 30,000 limit. So I call that a lap, right? So, my next lap is at 210,000. Now I'm way away from that right now. I'm at 191, 750, I think, something like that. Anyways, last time I checked, that's where I was. So, I've got quite a ways to go to make my next lap, but that's where I get excited. I get excited at every 30,000. It's like, it's kind of fun, So, I love connecting with people. I love helping people. I hope this show helped you learn a little bit about the marketing basics today, because that's what I covered in nauseum, I think. But if you have any questions, you can always ask them here. If you need marketing help, you can ask it here. I'm happy to tell you what I know, right? I mean, that's basically the bottom line. I share tips and tricks each and every week. I am going to start. This is the third or fourth one now. I'm going to start putting these on Bowman Digital Media. So if you missed them and you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, well, you could just subscribe because they go there live. I also have these on Facebook and I have them on LinkedIn. But if you miss them live and you want to catch them whenever you want, if you go to bowmandigitalmedia.com, I'm going to add these starting this one today so that you'll see them. And I'm also going to put the transcripts up so you can read it. So if you're looking for a tip, that's a good source for you to find and receive the free tips that you're looking for to boost your own marketing efforts. And if you need help, reach out to me on the contact page, send me a DM, send me an email, however you want to get a hold of me, and I'll do my best to help you out. Again, my name is Ira Bowman. It's been a pleasure having you hang out with me today on the show. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comment section. Have a great day, everybody.